industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. If you have those virtues, you don't have the problems you presently have in your society. Your education system would not be in the state it's in. Your health care wouldn't be in the state it's in. Your basic lack of morals in public places wouldn't be in existence. And you see, this thing goes on. I saw where there was this plan to have, there's a plan to have the LGBT march.
Just writing that down.
March.
Not march, but
the Pride, the Gay Pride Day. Mm-hmm. Well, like I told you before, long ago, I said it, and on the thing when the referendum was on. My view of people who, with their sexual decisions, that's their decision. They have to live with that. They have to answer to God for that. That's not my problem. My problem is when you try to force me to accept that what you're doing is right, when that is contrary to all the teachings in my religion, and I have my freedom of religion.
That's right.
Now, for the benefit of those who do not understand what I'm saying, to me, if you keep your marital business behind closed doors, nobody gets in it.
That's right.
When you bring it outside, you can't pull it back in. So when you go out there and you march and you say this is what we stand for, you are inviting problems for yourself, because not everybody's going to agree with you. Maybe it's quite a sign of bravery on their part that they're willing to do this, to be exposed that way. That's up to them.
But isn't it what they're Go ahead.
There's a thought I'm trying to reach a point. The other thing I want to advise both sides of is that everybody has the right to choose how they're going to live. But when you choose, remember that I'm not bound by your choices.
Very true.
The public is not bound by your choices. You're bound by your choices. There's talk about people not being able to do this and do that. And one of the things that was mentioned when Reverend McAlpine put out the thing and said there should be a public discussion about these issues.
Yes, common law.
Well, not common law, only, what do you call it? Civil unions.
That's right, civil unions.
There is nothing in the law books that prohibits any matter, any man, woman, child, boy or girl, whatever they choose to call themselves, from if they are over 18 years of age and they have sane mind, to make a will.
That's true. Very true.
To leave their property where they want it to. Mm-hmm. Even in a marriage, that doesn't necessarily mean that the wife will inherit. It doesn't mean that the husband will inherit. Because if they have separate property, they can will it separately. The only thing that has changed is that the husband or wife can now contest that will. Mm-hmm. Before they couldn't. Since 2000, I think they can contest it. All those rights are there, and they're there for everybody. Not just married people. They're there for individuals over the age of 18 years. Mm-hmm. What else do you want? Do you want us to say that you have an anniversary, you're married like they say in the United States and England and other places, and the Anglican Church were the first one to do it? Do you want us to say that? Well, if you do that, you can't ask me to go against everything I believe.
That's right.
And you can't say that that's a human right. Because there's no right to marriage.
There's no human right.
There's no human right to marriage. Marriage is a choice. I can choose to be celibate if I want. I don't have to get married if I don't want to.
That's true.
Who can force me to get married if I'm overage? And I say no. And if my husband were to leave me, were to leave me at the altar with the engagement ring on, could I sue the government for him leaving me?
No.
Human rights are rights you can enforce against the government.
That's right. It's a civil liberty, right?
This isn't even a civil liberty. This is a choice. It depends on your culture. Muslims are allowed to have 4 wives as long as they can support them. Jews and Muslims don't go to court for divorce. It's done among the people. Mm-hmm. So why is it that the government of the Bahamas...
Why should it be our business?
Why should it be our business how you do your business? That's not our business. And I would say one last thing to the church. Let him that is without sin cast the first stone. And the first law about love is to warn our brothers when they're going wrong. That is an act of mercy.
What about the church? Where in the church are we gone wrong with this topic?
Because the church has, in fact, ordained openly practicing homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
One was a bishop in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
V. Eugene Robinson, his name was all over the papers. Mm-hmm. And he was Episcopalian.
Hey.
And he divorced his heterosexual wife and his 2 daughters. And he married a man, and they're now divorced. And he used to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know if he's still there.
Even when I wasn't ready for the Alcoholics Anonymous part of the story.
I read.
What did you think of Pastor McAlpine's comment?
I don't think the papers carried his entire comment.
You thought it was deeper than that?
Yes, I think he would have said more than that. But I think he is right in one way, that we must stop sipping about these things and doing little snips and snips here and little thing and trying to persuade people by the back door to vote for a particular seat, to go down a path, which is not healthy. There's only one narrow way that leads to salvation. And that way...
Okay. Yeah. Welcome, you're on the Hit Back.
Good evening. How are you, Naja?
I'm well, and you?
Good. And my most favorite Bahamian,
Yes.
Justice Sawyer. I tell you, I've been tracking you for several years, and
wow.
I remember when it was that you actually took to the air for the first time consistently, and it was several years ago. And the only thing that came to my mind was how many other prominent Bahamians that had the knowledge that you had, but just didn't have the fortitude to do what you've done. And what I want to say to you, man, God has